Hello everyone, and welcome to another reading, Celtic Christian Advent readings that I've been doing through the book 40 Days with the Celtic Saints by David Cole. Good book, you should get it. Read it for yourself. We're not covering every single one. There's 40 different individuals, one per day, and we're not going to get through all of them, because we're not doing Saturdays and Sundays. So, in a 40-day period, if you take a couple out each time, then you're not going to get to all 40 of them. But we are going to get to another person today as we come to chapter 30 of this book. And associated with this person, whose name is Melangell, is the scripture from Romans chapter 12, verses 9 through 18. So let me read that for you. Then we'll read what David Cole has written about Melangell, and we'll reread the scripture at the end. So Romans 12, 9 through 18. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. Do not repay anyone evil for evil, but be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. None of this has to do with the birth of Christ, but it has to do with Christ. And it has to do with Christ, the Prince of Peace, brings into our lives, and therefore brings into and sheds through us into the world. Let's read about this fellow named Melangell. He died in May of 590. So he's a 6th century character. Melangell was a beautiful, Melangell was a beautiful Irish princess, my mistake, who escaped to Wales when her father arranged a marriage for her with a great Irishman. Melangell desired to remain a holy virgin for God, so she fled, being led by God across the sea. She found a secluded valley in Wales, where she stayed for 15 years as a hermit before she saw another human face. The human face she then saw was that of Prince Brickwell Isrigoth, and I can't pronounce these Welsh names, who owned the land upon which she had been residing. The prince was out on a hunt with his hounds, and was chasing a hare which had run into a thorny thicket. The prince and the dogs went through the thicket to get the hare, but when they found it, it was resting under the edges of a lady's garments. The prince, Brickwell, urged his dogs on to catch the hare, but the more he shouted, urging them on, the further the dogs retreated and, howling, fled from the little animal. Finally, the prince, altogether astonished, asked the girl how long she had lived on her own in these lands, and who she was, her place of birth and origins. Melangell told the prince everything. On hearing Melangell's story, Prince Brickwell, a Christian himself, was cut to the heart and offered the lands upon which Melangell had spent the past 15 years for the service of God, that they may be a perpetual asylum, refuge, and defense. Let neither king nor prince seek to be so rash or bold toward God that they presume to drag away any man or woman who has escaped here. Melangell continued in the same place as a hermit for 37 years, giving shelter and refuge not only to men and women, to whom she also taught the ways of a hermit of God, but also to all manner of animals, no matter what type they were, or how wild. When entering the place or the presence of Melangell herself, they became calm and non-violent, as if they had been tame or domesticated animals. Nor by the aid of divine mercy were miracles nor by the aid of divine mercy were miracles and various other signs lacking for those who called upon her help and the grace and favor of an inner motion of the heart. Melangell was a woman of such deep peace in the indwelling presence of God that everyone and everything that came to her rested in that peace. Through this embodiment of divine peace, Melangell expressed deep hospitality. So the questions for us: how do we embody the peace of God? How do others perceive this peace? Does it dwell within us? What might we do to enhance both our awareness of divine peace and others' awareness of peace dwelling within us? How might we express this peace through hospitality? Again, Romans chapter 12. Let love be without hypocrisy. Abhor that which is evil. Cling to that which is good. In love of the brothers, be tenderly affectionate to one another. In honor, preferring one another. Not lagging in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, enduring in troubles, continuing steadfastly in prayer, contributing to the needs of the saints, given to hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and don't curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. Be of the same mind one toward another. Don't set your mind on high things, but associate with the humble. Don't be wise in your own conceits. Repay no one evil for evil. Respect what is honorable in the sight of all men. If it is possible, as much as it is up to you, be at peace with all men. Romans 12, 9 through 18. And the blessing. May you know the peace, the deep peace of the Prince of Peace. May that peace flow through you into the lives of others. May you express that peace through hospitality without prejudice to all. And Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow with another reading from this book, 40 Days with the Celtic Saints, a time of preparation as we go through Advent and Celtic Christian Advent, which started back in November 16th. So this has been Pastor Howie with you today, and we'll see you tomorrow.